gonna hit on Colorgrade and CapCut, right? But I'm gonna use my iPad. So iPad now has the app called Pad, and everything that's on this pad is on your desktop. So if you're working off your desktop, you're not gonna miss a beat. All right. So let's go ahead and go to the pad. See, I already been starting on a project already. So let me go ahead and exit out this. Let me go ahead and delete some things real quick. Okay, cool. So I got a clip, right? We do the same old thing. You go to your media. I just added a clip, pretty much added into my timeline. You should already know how to do that. If you don't, go back. I taught class the first week coming back to school, and you should if you haven't already, go back and watch all my other videos on how to get to the tabs and how to use it. It's boring, but trust me, you'll understand this process once you go through it. I just need maybe almost 45 minutes of your time. That's it. Go through about, I got like 6 or 7 of them. All right. So here we go. So we got our clip in the timeline, right? So this is an important step, right? The way I do it is you go to your adjustment tab. All right. So you got your add adjustment, yours, and your LUT, right? See, I already have my LUTs already imported in CapCut. But in order to import your LUTs, you have to go to import, and you pretty much wherever you saved your LUTs in, pretty much your downloads, your files, you just go over here to these folders, and you find the LUT that you downloaded offline, uploaded offline, and you just open it, and it appear right here in this slot right here. So all your LUTs that you done bought, you got for free, however you got it, you put them right here in the space, right? You with me? You with me? All right. Rewind if you ain't with me now. Pause real quick. All right, we good. Check it. All right, so listen. So you go ahead and add adjustment, custom adjustment. Yep. And you put the plus sign and you drag it all the way out to your clip. So if we had, like, say for instance 10 to 15 clips, you'll drag it all the way down till you cover all 15 of your clips, right? So check it. Once we do that, go to the right hand side. You're gonna have options, right? We're gonna stick with your basics. You have your LUT already checked. Then you're going to find the LUT. So this is when things get tricky now, because I don't want you to give up, because this color grading thing is easy. It's simple. Once you get the concept down and understand it, you'll be coloring like there's no tomorrow. You'll be goddamn the modern day Michelangelo. And I ain't talking about the turtles either. All right. So let's check it. So it's a difference between a creative LUT and a conversion LUT. A creative LUT and a conversion LUT. Peep it out. So, uh, uh, let's go with a creative LUT first. So a creative LUT is one of them, like, it's a filter, right? To where once you finish converting your S-Log footage, then you throw it on top of that. You can't do it first and expect to get good colors. Let's say, for instance, um, let's do. That's the wrong one. Let's find a good one. Okay, let's say for instance, man. All right, let's do. Nah, that's even. Look at me now. I need to find something that don't make sense, man. Cause see, okay, I forgot this guy's LUT is pretty much okay. Let's go to this for instance, right? So as you can tell, this is a creative LUT, right? The way our footage look. So this is the slider for the intensity of that LUT. So it's 100%, and this right here is 0. Even though it did color it, don't get me wrong, they did color it, but it's not accurate colors. You know what I mean? Like when you go back and forth, it's not accurate because that's a creative LUT. It don't look right, right? So if we go ahead and exit out of that, and when I say your conversion LUT, we're looking for S-Log 3 to Rec 709. No matter where you get it from, if you buy it, get it for free. I advise you, if you got a Sony camera, go to the Sony.com website, and they'll let you get it for free. So if you're shooting an S-Log 2 or S-Log 3, you will get a free conversion look. All right. So I got mine. So this it right here. So bam. So with that, so you see how, let's do a close up, right? So let's go back, click on it. Hold on. Don't lose place now. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hey, don't y'all shoot me, man. I know. All right, let's stay that right there, right? So, bam. So I did the S log 3 converted to 709, Rec 709. That's what it is, right? So I got it at the intensity 100. If I go all the way to the 0, you see how it's showing S log 3, and the more I put it up, the more color it adds. And me personally, I like it at 100%. I mean, you can do whatever you want. Like I said, this is your creative way. Do as you please. All right. So I like mine all the way up to 100%. And bam, listen, you're done. Like if you trust me, I'm satisfied with this. If I was like one of those quick turnarounds, and and my client really needs it, I'm done. I'm finished. I give him this right here, and I'm done. Here you go, download, upload, finish. But me being a colorist, I gotta add more stuff to it, right? So that's just the beginning. All right. So let's go ahead and add. Let me see the outside. Maybe I want to warm this shot up a little bit, right? So let's see. We got more options. So protect skin tone. I want to pretty much mess with that because skin tones are already like a reddish color, and anything red will mess the skin up with the red. So you don't want to do that. So leave this one alone. Leave that protect skin tone alone. Don't worry about that. All right, temperature. Temperature is pretty much your white balance, the way you want your picture to look. Again, there's no right or wrong way of doing it. So if I go all the way to the left, it turns my picture blue. If I go all the way to the right, it turns it orange, yellowish orange, right? So outside, it was cloudy that day a little bit. So if I just go a little bit to the, I want to add something. I don't want to go too blue with it, but I want to add a little bit of like, like a little bit of orange to it. Just a slight 10. You can put it at 10. Tint, I don't want too much mess with tint. Tint, you can leave as it is. Saturation, I'm kind of happy with the red on it right now. I don't want to be too saturated, but like I said, you can saturate it as much as you please. That's black and white all the way. That's too much overkill. All right, my exposure, I think I exposed it right. So if I go all the way to the right, it expose it high, like a high ISO value. If I go all the way down, it's gonna be dark. So my ISO is pretty cool. I like my ISO right there. Contrast, I can't go too dark because then I lose detail. Go too light, I lose a lot of color. So my contrast can stay right there. My highlights will be like the sky, right? I can see my sky. So when if I go all the way to the left, I see more details in my sky, but my people are like underexposed. You know what I mean? They're too dark. And if I go to the right, they light up a little bit. You know what I mean? But my sky will be blown way out. So I like to keep it right there because what's more important is the people in the video. I can have an outblown sky, whatever the case may be, but I want to make sure my people is like they're exposed correctly. So my shadow is pretty much gonna be on them once again. You don't want to go all the way to the left. Only time you want to mess with your shadows if you overexpose and they're too bright. You might want to bring your shadows down so your people can be a little bit darker. But for the most part, like I said, I did a great job in exposing this shot. My whites, you don't want too much mess with that. Your blacks, of course, self-explanatory. Now your brilliance, I may say it wrong. I don't know what that word is. Brilliance. I call it brilliance. All right, brilliance. So the brilliance tab, right? It pretty much bring color. It's like saturation, but not really. As you can see, if I go all the way to your left, it kind of brightens up my red a lot. It's one of them tabs, right? That if you go all the way to your left, it brightens up the colors that's popping already. So the color that's popping in this shot is the red. So if I go all the way to my left, you see how it turned the shirt red. But if I go right to neutral, so I want the shirt to maybe pop a little bit more. So I just give it a little taste. -11, perfect. All right, sharpen. I don't like too much sharpen. on my image. It looks so digital. I hate digital. Blah, blah. I hate digital film. You feel me? So I'm gonna leave that alone. The only time I probably sharpen something if I miss focus on something and I need that shot in focus, and I probably sharpen it. But for the most part, I don't need that. My clarity is more like a sharpener mixed with contrast, right? So if I go all the way to the right, you see how it just makes it pop even more. But I don't want it like that. So I'm gonna just hold on. One more time. Perfect right there. I want that 26. So that's perfect for me, right? Put that sharpener down. We ain't doing that. Then you got your particles. Your particles are just adding grain to the scene. So if you want, on some creative wave, if you want to add, your grain to it, you can add grain. Nothing wrong with it. Then you got your fade, which would make it to like a film type, 90s, 1980s, something, 1985. Then you got your vignette, vignette, vignette. All right, and you're self-explanatory. All right. So these other tabs are your HSL, which is color. You can pick the hold on. You can actually pick a color that you want to work on. But we ain't gonna do that. Nah, that's too complicated because we don't definitely need nothing like that. So let's say for instance you wanted the red to be a different color, right? So you'll click on the red, the hue. You see how the hue is changing to orange and purplish type. Yeah, pretty cool. Like I said, if you got a creative mind, you can do it. Or if you want to turn his shirt to a faded out black and white, or you want to turn it up to red. But when you mess with red, again, it touches the skin a lot. So you don't want to mess with red too much. And then it's the brightness of the shirt. So if you want the shirt to be bright red or dark red, plain and simple. And it does that with every other color. If you want to change anything, you want to just tune in on that color, you can do it. Your curves are another advanced type edit, right? So for example, I'm not gonna go all into detail. I'm gonna show you how it works. All right. So I'm gonna put a dot right here, and then put a dot right here, right? So these gonna act like your highlights and your shadow, right? So let's say I pull this line up. Come on, pull up, right? You see how it brightens up everything? So as an advanced colorist, a lot of people just use their curves instead of just messing with the shadows and the highlights. So say for instance, I want to mess with this. So if I go down, it's gonna be dark. If I go up, it's gonna be light. So and then you'll bring this down. This will be your shadows. So you see how it's bringing dark and light. But again, you don't need to worry about that. Like that's for advanced, and I'm helping the beginners. All right. So let's go to the color wheel. Color wheel, another advanced setting. We're not gonna go into that because again, I want y'all to be comfortable in CapCut. I don't want y'all to be intimidated by nothing because if you're planning on going to Premiere and Lord behold DaVinci, you're gonna be lost. All right, so we need to learn the basics first, master the basics, and then later on in the semester or maybe next year we can focus on the advanced colors. All right, but for now, pretty much just focus on the basic, the basic tab, and you'll get your colors right, So again, I'm gonna show you. So we went from black and white, no color, SLR3 footage to bam, color, and it's that simple. Color grading and CapCut can be simple. Like I told you before, even though I use DaVinci to color a lot of my work, I still don't sleep on CapCut. CapCut still get me through projects. I still can color in CapCut, as you can see. And it comes out with good color. Like I said, you can experiment. You can use all type of LUTs, like I said, it's up to you how you want your videos to look. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. Just get your colors accurate, how you seen it that day. If you want to make it into a cinematic movie, you can. Again, it's all up to you. This is your world, and I'm here to, show you and teach you a way so you can create it your way. There's no right or wrong way, once again, and I can't stress that enough. Don't let these people on the internet tell you how to do something. That's the only way to do it. And if you don't do it their way, then you're doing it wrong. I ain't about that. You know what I mean? I want to teach y'all the basics, and I want y'all to just take it to the next level. I want y'all to be able to be great. Matter of fact, be a better colorist than me because I'm still learning. I'm no professional whatsoever. All right. But yeah, that's it. Any questions? Drop it in the comment section. I need y'all to subscribe, like it, share it, tell a friend, to tell a friend, to. All right. Y'all get it. All right. If I know, you know, we all gonna grow. Until next time, again, drop comments down there what y'all want me to hit next. All right.